Hi, have you been looking for natural remedies that you could do at home to help you get through this cold and flu season? Well, I'm Christy here at Homefront Herbalist, and I am going to show you how to make your own fire cider. So let's talk about fire cider first, like what it is. So it's an age-old tonic. The correct or technical term is an oxymel, because we're going to be infusing all of these wonderful herbs and spices and citrus and things in vinegar. So oxymels, they always use vinegar as part of the base. Fire cider originally came from Rosemary Gladstar, a very famous herbalist, and the base of fire cider comes from our garlic, ginger, horseradish root, and then our peppers. And then you can add all kinds of things. There is no right or wrong way to make fire cider, which is one of the reasons why I love to make it, because it's so versatile and you can add so many different things depending on the health benefits that you want to get. So today I'm going to show you a pretty basic recipe, plus maybe a few extra things that I throw in mine that I like to do, and we're going to do it using fresh ingredients. So we're going to make a gallon. So we have a sterilized, clean gallon jar. And I've already pre-chopped everything, so you didn't have to sit here and watch me chop all of it. But we're using 4 organic lemons, and we're leaving the skins on. The skins are going to be great. I'm going to give them a little squeeze to release some of their juices, and then I'm just going to drop them in my jar. And we are also going to do the same thing with our oranges. You can leave the peels on. Orange peel is actually has bitter properties, which is really great for your digestion. Adding this citrus in is going to help balance out the spiciness from our ginger and our horseradish root and those type of things. We're just going to get all of these in here. Release some of the juices. So fire cider is something that you can take daily as a tonic, as a preventative. For adults, you take about a tablespoon a day. For children over the age of 1, they can take it as well. I say over the age of 1 because later on we will add some honey, and it's not safe. Honey's not safe for children under the age of 1. Children can take a teaspoon, and typically you can dilute it in some juice or water and whatever it is that will help them get it down, because it will be spicy. So we're going to get all this in here. We're also doing 4 oranges, and try to use organic if you can. That way you don't risk having any kind of pesticides or wax on the outside of your fruits and vegetables that will end up in your end product. All right, so we have all of our citrus in there, and we're just going to throw in our onions. I'm using red onion. You can use white onion, yellow onion. About 3 small onions will work for this recipe. Get all that in there. Onion is great for colds and flus just by itself. Even if you wanted to make an onion poultice, you just put it on the bottom of your feet to help with coughs. Now we're going to add in our garlic. So I think we have about 3 to 4 heads of garlic peeled. You do want the skins off of that. And we're just going to mix this in there. Garlic is my favorite go-to during cold and flu season. We love to pickle it and then eat it whole, but it's antibacterial, antimicrobial, antifungal, all the anti-fun things that help keep all those yucky cold and flu germs at bay. And look at all the fun, pretty colors. Okay, now we're going to continue to add in our peppers. I'm just using jalapeno peppers, but you can use any variety of peppers that you like, and also depending on the amount of heat that you want. So I have 3 jalapeno peppers in here. Be careful when you're cutting these. Use gloves when you're handling them, which I am not doing, but that's all right, because if you get it on your face or your eyes, it can burn. All right, then we're gonna add our ginger and our turmeric. So turmeric is anti-inflammatory. It's great for any joint pain. Our ginger is also another fantastic cold and flu herb. It's very warming, so it's going to add some of that heat to our fire cider, and it's also great for fending off colds and flus as well, for its antimicrobial properties as well. So we're gonna mix that in there, and I'm using fresh. I just did like a handful of fresh ginger and turmeric, chopped it up real nice. We got that in there. Then we're gonna add some peppercorns. I just did maybe about a teaspoon of peppercorns. And then I'm using dried horseradish root today because that's what I had on hand. But if you had fresh, you'd use about 1/3 of a cup of fresh horseradish root. And then one other thing that I also like to stick into my fire cider is astragalus root. And astragalus root is an adaptogenic herb, which is fantastic for helping your body deal with stress. So if you feel the onset of an illness coming on and you have an adaptogenic herb in your system like astragalus, it can help your body fight that off more quickly, and even prevent you from getting sick in the first place. Then we're going to add some cinnamon. Cinnamon is great for circulatory system. It just adds a fun little spice. I'm going to stick those down in here. We're going to shake this all up later, so you don't have to worry about getting it all mixed in. But look at all those pretty colors. This is what I love about using food as medicine. You're getting all those bright, wonderful colors and all the nutrients that come from each one of these ingredients, as well as their herbal properties. Fire cider is typically taken for, as I mentioned, you can take it daily as a tonic, or when you feel the onset of sickness coming on, you can take it like 6 tablespoons throughout the day, or just sip on a little bit all throughout the day if you're feeling sick, to help ward off the cold and flu and the yuckies that are coming. It is also very good for helping with headaches, increasing circulation, helping with joint pain. There are so many things that fire cider is good for, and it's something that you don't need to just take during cold and flu season. It's something you could take all year round, as I mentioned before, as a tonic, just because you're getting all the wonderful benefits of all of these herbs and spices that are in here. So our last step of what we're going to do, and now we're going to cover everything with raw apple cider vinegar. I'll do some of this first. So the important thing here is to make sure that all the ingredients are covered completely, because if anything is poking out the top, then you can risk it getting moldy. So we're just going to fill it right on up to the top there. If you're having trouble getting everything submerged under the liquid, you can always put like a pickle pebble on top to weigh it down, or some people like to take a Ziploc bag and fill it with water and put it in the top just to help keep everything submerged. I am going to give this a quick stir. I'm going to grab my spoon because I want to make sure that we have vinegar in all of the cracks there. You can kind of mix it up when you do this part if you want. And then we can go back and add some more if there were any air bubbles in our jar. Looking pretty good. This is so easy. This is such an easy home remedy to make that works wonders. The thing that requires the most amount of time is just all the chopping of the ingredients, which isn't really that big of a deal. And it really does help. My family will take this tonic all throughout cold and flu season. I'm making more today because this is the last of what we have from last year's batch. So it's time to start again. The next thing you're gonna do, the last thing you want to do is I'm going to cover my jar with parchment paper because there's vinegar in here. It can corrode a metal lid, so you want to make sure that you offer some protection there. So we'll just put this on like that. Make sure you label and date it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to leave this. You can give it a little shake. You're going to let this sit in a undisturbed place, maybe in a cabinet where it's kind of dark, and you're going to let this infuse for 4 to 6 weeks. And then in 4 to 6 weeks, all you have to do is strain out all of the herbs and spices, and you're going to be left with the juice, the fire cider, and it's going to have all those wonderful flavors in there. And you're going to put that in another clean jar, and then if you would like, you can add honey to taste, to kind of that sweet to help offset that spicy. Gives it a wonderful balance and a wonderful flavor. Some people like to drink it straight up without the honey. That's great too if you can tolerate that. I usually do add a little bit of honey, and then you have your homemade fire cider. I hope you enjoyed watching this video today, and let me know if you make fire cider. If you feel like getting all of these vegetables and herbs and things like that is too much work, but you still want home remedies, hey, I get it, I've been there. Then you can go to homefrontherbalist.com and you can purchase our pre-made, dry packaged fire cider packet, which all you have to do is dump into a quart jar, cover with your apple cider vinegar, let it sit for at least 2 weeks, and then you're ready to go. So if you want a quicker way to do that, come visit us at homefrontherbalist.com. Thanks for joining me today.